Hello, good day. Welcome once again to another episode of A Kwentuhan Tayo. Yan, pang 6 episode na tayo. Bakit tayo umabot ng 6? Kasi yun, napakagaling nyo at napa 100 subscribers nyo po ang aking YouTube channel. So maraming salamat po sa pag-subscribe. At syempre, as promised, sasagad natin to hanggang 10 episode. Okay? Pero ngayon, for the 6th episode, we will discuss Arlene Homol E. Romorosa as petitioner versus People of the Philippines as respondent, GR number 191039, August 22, 2022. Okay, ganda ng date, no? So yan, so let's go to the facts. Dr. Helfa Robilios E. Jimenez, or Dr. Robilios for short, hired Arlene Homol E. Romorosa, Arlene for short, as a clinic secretary. Okay? Dr. Robilios tasks Arlene to collect and remit installment payments from customers who purchase jewelry. Okay? So si Doc, meron siyang uh, sideline. Nagbebenta siya ng alahas, di ba? So, yaman ng Doc. So, on March 2 and 8, Arlene received a total of 1,000 from Elena Kilangtang or Elena for the gold bracelet that she bought from Dr. Robilios. May bumili, okay, nagbayad kay Arlene bilang siya yung clinic secretary. Okay? Magkano yung binili? 1,000 pesos. Okay? However, Arlene did not give the money to Dr. Rebellios. So, pinulsa yung 1,000 pesos. Ito yung nakakatuwa dito kasi 1,000 pesos binulsa pa. Okay? On installment. Did not give the money to Dr. Rebellios. On March 14, Arlene resigned from work. The following day, Dr. Rebellios reminded Elena of her unpaid installments. So, yun. So, nag-follow up. Kaya lang nahuli si Arlene kasi nag-follow up ng bayad itong si Dr. Robilios. Diba? Sobrang kahit anong yamanan niya, nakuha pa niya i-follow up yung 1,000 pesos. Okay? So, ang tawag namin dito sa audit is confirmation or negative confirmation yung tawag namin dito. Uy, nagbayad ka na ba? Ayun, tawag namin doon. Ganyan sa audit. Okay? Elena replied that she already paid to Arlene. Aggrieved, Dr. Rebellios filed a criminal complaint against Arlene. Okay, so sa 1,000 pesos, okay, kinasuhan niya pa si Arlene. Siyempre, prinsipyo na to, guys. Finding probable cause, the public prosecutor charged Arlene with qualified theft. Okay, qualified theft yung ikinaso ni Prosec, okay, ni Piskal. However, the RTC and upon appeal, CA found her guilty beyond reasonable doubt of the crime estafa. Okay? Ang final na kaso is or nasa information ay qualified theft. Pero ang crime charge is or yung guilty of siya is estafa daw, sabi ng RTC and CA. Under subdivision number 1, paragraph B of Article 315 of the RPC and penalized under the third paragraph of the same article. Of course, Arlene appealed to the Supreme Court and did not dispute the facts but maintains that her right to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation was violated. Okay? So, sabi niya, yung due process ko and right to information, wala. Kasi ang charge sa akin is qualified theft lang. Bakit ako kinasuhan or naging guilty ng estafa? Yun nga, the charge was qualified theft which translates only to material possession, sorry. And the information did not allege juridical possession necessary for estafa. At any rate, a mere employee does not have juridical possession over the amount supposedly misappropriated and cannot be held liable for estafa. So, ang kinokontest ni Arlene dito sa kasong ito is hindi siya dapat guilty na estafa. Oo, sige, guilty na ako na kinuha ko yung 1,000 pero hindi estafa yun. Dapat qualified theft lang kung tutuusin. Okay? So, ang issues is whether or not Arlene is guilty of estafa, okay? Or number two, if she is not guilty of estafa, is she guilty of qualified theft? Okay? Or tama ba maging guilty siya ng qualified theft? Okay? So, ruling number one, no, Arlene is not guilty of estafa but guilty of theft. Okay? Theft, sabi ng court, theft should not be confused with estafa. In general, the two crimes are distinguished by the manner in which the offender in each case acquires possession of the property. Okay? So, ang differentiate ng estafa from theft is how the accused took possession of the property na minisappropriate niya. Okay? The theft, the thief takes the item without the owner's consent. The estafador receives the things and converts it to their own use or benefit. However, there may be theft even if the accused has possession of the property. The misappropriation constitutes theft if the accused was entrusted only with the material or physical or de facto possession of the thing, whereas the conversion constitutes embezzlement or estafa if the accused has juridical possession of the thing. The next question now is whether the information for qualified theft alleges sufficient facts to sustain a conviction for estafa. So, balik muna tayo doon sa differentiate. Dito sa case na to, gustong i-clarify ni Justice Mario V. Lopez na kung anong pinagkaiba ng estafa at theft. Okay? So, sabi niya, kapag material possession or de facto possession ang lang ang nabigay dun sa thief or dun sa accused, eh, theft lang yun. Okay? Pero kapag may juridical possession of the thing na, okay, estafa na siya, okay, yung kaso doon. Okay? Siyempre, research tayo kung ano ang pinagkaiba ng material possession and juridical possession or ano ang juridical possession. Okay? Juridical possession refers to a possession which gives the transferee a right over the thing transferred, and this he may set up even against the owner. Okay? So, yung material possession, binigay lang sa'yo. Wala namang right, okay, na pinasa. Kumbaga, inabot lang sa'yo or pinatago, pero hindi binigay yung right over the thing. Kapag sinabing juridical possession, kasama na yung karapatan para ah, not only for the possession but may ownership right ka na din doon. Kumbaga hindi naman ownership pero may binigay ng right over that thing. Kunyari yung mga ahente ng mga Avon, ganon. Okay? Ah, or yung mga dati yung mga Tupperware. Di ba ngayong sa trust receipt, ayan, binibigyan sila ng stocks tapos binibigyan kayo ng trust receipt. Yung stocks na yon binibigyan ka na ng right over to sell that thing. Okay? Kapag hindi mo binalik, 'di ba? Yung property na 'yon, okay, dahil trust receipt 'yon, magkakaroon ka na ng estafa kasi binigyan ka na ng right to sell pero hindi mo binalik after hiningi niya na sa'yo dahil hindi mo na ibenta. Okay? So, yun yung juridical possession. I hope naintindihan niyo yung explanation ko. Okay? So yeah, in this case, the CA and the RTC both held the prosecution allege and prove all the elements of estafa under Article 315, Paragraph 1B of the RPC. However, the information is silent whether Arlene received the money in a fiduciary capacity or under an obligation to return the same. The phrase in the information that Arlene ought to remit the money is insufficient absent the allegation that this duty is rooted in the transaction where she acquired juridical possession of the thing. In contrast, the information alleged that Arlene received the money as a mere collector. As such, the money merely passes into Arlene's hand and her custody is only until the amount is remitted to Dr. Rebellios. Arlene acquires only physical or material possession over the unremitted funds, verily an employee who receives money or property in behalf of the employer is not vested with juridical possession but only physical or material possession. Okay, so dito in-apply na ng court yung facts dun sa legal basis niya. So, sinabi nga na kapag ka ay kung dumadaan lang naman sa yung pera, okay, hindi naman talaga ibinigay or binigyan ka ng karapatan para dun sa pera na yun, you are a mere collector. Okay? Um, that it does not mean na kapag tinakbo mo yung pera, estafa na yun. Okay? Kasi nga, maaaring material possession lang yun. Okay? So, yun yung pinaka-doctrinal dito. Yung difference ng estafa tsaka ng estafa at ng qualified theft. And yung material possession against juridical possession. And meron pa susunod, sabi dito, an employee cannot be considered as an agent if the duty to collect is imposed by reason of his employment. Thus, it bears to stress that a sum of money received by an employee on behalf of an employer is considered to be only in the material possession of the employee. So, yun nga. So, kunyari, yung mga cashier, kapag tinakbo nila yung pera, ayun, maaaring qualified debt lang yun. Okay? The material possession of an employee is adjunct by reason of his employment to a recognition of the juridical possession of the employer. So long as the juridical possession of the thing appropriated did not pass to the employee perpetrator, the offense committed remains to be qualified or otherwise. Okay, so yung pinaka main distinction talaga, as I have already mentioned, is yung kung paano na ipasa yung possession over the thing. Okay, kapag merely material possession lang, walang right over the thing, eh hindi siya daw estafa. Okay? Kailangan may juridical possession para magkaroon ng estafa. Okay? Hence, conversion of the personal property in case of an employee having a mere material possession of the said property constitutes theft, whereas is in the case of an agent to whom both material and juridical possession have been transferred, misappropriation of the same constitute estafa. Corollarily, Arlene cannot be convicted of a crime not embraced with the information. Nevertheless, the court finds the allegation sufficiently charge Arlene with qualified theft. Okay? So, ayan. So, sabi dito, din sa last sentence na lang, pinaalalahanan din ng court na syempre, basic is that kung ano yung nandun sa information, yun lang yung dapat i-charge sa kanya. Hindi na dapat umakyat. Pwedeng bumaba, di ba? Yung variance doctrine pagdating sa criminal procedure, di ba? Um, pwedeng yung crime na subsumed dun sa mas mataas sa kung mas mataas na crime pero yung may mas lower crime na subsumed dun sa mataas na crime o yung elements nun, okay, pwede. Pero hindi mo pwede siyang iakyat sa ibang klase ng crime. Katulad na nangyari dito, qualified theft lang naman yung charge, guilty. Bigla siya naging guilty ng estafa. So, ayun, bawal yun, di ba? Ah, sa due process, hindi siya papasok or sa right to information. Okay? So, yun. So, kung hindi siya guilty daw ng estafa, guilty ba siya ng qualified theft? Okay? The court said, no, Arlene is not guilty of qualified theft, but guilty of simple theft only. Okay? However, the court finds the prosecution established only simple theft. Why? First, Arlene received 1,000 from Elena but failed to remit to Dr. Rebellios. Second, the money belongs to Dr. Rebellios as it comprised installment payments from customers who purchased the jewelry. Third, the absence of consent was shown in Dr. Rebellios' attempt to recover the unpaid installments. Fourth, the further taking of the money raised the reasonable presumption of intent to gain. Fifth, Arlene got hold of the money in the performance of her duty as a collector without force violence, or intimidation. So, inisa-isa ng court yung elements or in-apply nila yung element sa facts. Okay? Yet, okay, yun lang. Kaya hindi siya naging qualified theft, simple theft lang. Kasi, sabi ng court, yet the prosecution failed to establish the element of grave abuse of confidence. Okay? The court has explained that grave abuse of trust is a circumstance which aggravates and qualifies the commission of the crime of theft. Hence, the imposition of a higher penalty is necessary. In qualified theft, the taking must be the result of a relation by reason of dependence, guardianship, or vigilance between the accused and the offended party that has created a high degree of confidence between them. Thus, grave abuse of confidence by a thieving employee should be contextualized not only by relationship between the employer and employee, but also by the purpose for which the employee was given the employer's trust. Okay? So, sa qualified theft, hindi ah hindi sapat yung sinabi mong may employer-employee relationship kayo tapos tinakbuhan ka. Okay? Dapat merong element ng grave abuse of confidence. Yun yung nagpapaangat daw mula simple theft puntang qualified theft yung crime. Okay? Kaya naging qualified theft siya kasi merong grave abuse of confidence. Hindi basta-basta lang na meron kang employer-employer relationship, qualified theft na yun. Yung sinasabi ng court dito. Okay? So, dapat ina-allege mo ng maayos na nasira or na commit nga niya yung grave abuse of confidence. Otherwise, maging simple theft lang yan. Okay? Dito nga, ito, ina-apply na ng court. Here, it was not proven that Dr. Rebellios had special trust or high degree of confidence in Arlene. So, hindi siya ganun kataas na pagtitiwala, okay, kay Arlene. The allegation and information that Arlene is a secretary or a collector of Dr. Rebellios does not by itself, without more, create the relation of confidence and intimacy required in qualified theft. More telling are the minuscule amounts involved and the fact that Dr. Rebellios allowed Arlene to resign without any question, discount the existence of a high degree of confidence between them. Okay? Kasi 'di ba, kung ikaw ay may mataas or pinagkakatiwalaan mo yung tao tapos magre-resign siya, 'di ba? Ikaw yung employer, tatanungin mo muna, "O bakit ka nagre-resign? Baka pwede namang hindi ka mag-resign. Ikaw naman kasi yung pinagkakatiwalaan ko eh." So yun, okay? Ikaw yung inaasahan ko dito sa office, ganyan. Doon, kung sana nailagay yun sa allegation, okay, dun sa information, maaari pang maiangat sa qualified theft. Pero dahil wala nga, 'di ba, ang sabi lang is hinayaan siyang mag-resign. So, kumbaga dispensable siya or pwede siyang palitan agad-agad. So, yun. Isa yun sa mga naging consideration ng Supreme Court in showing na wala namang ganong kalaking pagtitiwala si Dr. Rebellios kay Arlene. Okay? The prosecution likewise failed to substantiate the gravity how Arlene betrayed Dr. Rebellios. Suppose special trust to qualify or facilitate the taking of the money. Dr. Rebellios principally hired Arlene as a clinic secretary while her task as a collector is foreign to her usual duties. Oo nga naman, kasi clinic secretary ka nga lang naman, di ba? Ang nangyari lang is maaring napadaan lang si Elena tapos, uy, nagpa-check up. Wait, ito pala yung bayad ko, di ba? So, nangyari lang na, ano ba to? Na napadaan lang siya at napabayad lang kay Arlene. Pero hindi naman talaga niya, ano yun, trabaho. Okay? The circumstance does not show that Arlene's job was instrumental in facilitating the taking of the money. There is no evidence that Arlene could not have committed the crime had she not been holding the position of a secretary or collector. To reiterate, the abuse of confidence must be grave. On this point, the court is convinced that Arlene took advantage of her position in committing the crime, but not on the level of grave abuse of confidence. Thus, Arlene is guilty of only simple theft. Okay? So, at yung, again, to summarize, okay, the case of Arlene Romorosa versus People of the Philippines, here, Justice Mario V. Lopez clarified that the distinction between theft and estafa, wherein juridical possession is necessary uh for you to be charged of the crime of estafa. Okay? Pag mere material possession lang, theft yun. Okay? Tapos, hindi agad-agad kapag merong employer-employee relationship, estafa agad yung na or na pwedeng i-charge sa kanya. Okay? Again, juridical possession is necessary. Okay? What is juridical possession? Yung pagbigay mo ng, aside from giving the physical possession, pati yung right over the thing, binibigay mo din sa tao into which na pwede niya din gamitin over you, yung right na yun. Okay? So, yun. Yun yung juridical possession. Number two, ang naging doctrinal dito is that qualified theft, the distinction between qualified and simple theft. The court reminded us that in order to elevate or to aggravate the crime of theft to qualified theft, kailangan ma-prove, okay, yung element na grave abuse of confidence. Okay? So, kailangan ma-prove ng maayos na nagkaroon ng grave abuse of confidence yung accused before you um, elevate the charge to qualified theft. Okay? So, this has been your sixth episode. Again, maraming salamat for your continued subscription and support to this. Again, please do not be shy of liking the channel or putting some comments down below para alam ko kung natutuwa nga talaga kayo. Baka mamaya bot lang yung mga nagla-like, ganun. Okay, and yeah, please expect more episode up to the 10th episode kasi napa 100 niya na to. Maraming maraming salamat po. Good day and happy aral.